What's up guys, and welcome back to another eBay miniature rescue. Today we're going to be working on these 3 Dark Eldar Scourges sent in by Alexi from the Happy Halfling painting studio. So the story goes that Alexi was trying to sell these on eBay for quite a long time. And he got these in a huge lot of, a bunch of used miniatures, painted, some not, in order to paint for his studio. And they just weren't selling. So he hit me up a while back and said, hey, I'd like to send these to you. They seem like they would be prime for a rescue. So I'm going to do the best I can with something a little different for Dark Eldar, but I think appropriate nonetheless. So we'll start them in LA's Totally Awesome Stripper in the Sonic Cleaner. And I put these about halfway in to show exactly what this thing does and how quickly it works. So you can see where that water line was. This was about, a cycle and a half-ish, so about 15 minutes, and it pretty much takes it straight down to metal. So I put it in for another cycle for the whole thing, took them out, toothbrushed them off under warm water, and they come out brand new. I should probably also mention that Alexi didn't paint these. He got them this way and, was just trying to flip them real quick. I'm going to put a link to his studio in the description, so go ahead and check that out. The Happy Halfling, he does some amazing work. So I used Vallejo's black and white primer to do a quick zenithal highlight over these guys. And we're going to start with Incubi Darkness, pretty thin down in the airbrush for pretty much an overall base coat. I'm also going to slowly build up a highlight of Incubi Darkness on more of the pointy areas on these backpacks, just to give them a little more interest, because I want to maintain that, darkness for the Dark Eldar, and bringing in a little bit of this kind of green-blue gives a nice look to these backpacks. Bringing in Administratum Gray, I'm going to mix a little bit of this into the pot for now and just do kind of a subtle top-down highlight. Coming in with a little more of that gray into the airbrush, probably a 70-30 mix now on the gray side. I'm just going to hit some of the higher points, the pointier points, and just give a nice gray look and transition on those areas. And for the backpacks, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing, just kind of frost the tips a little bit to bring that bluish green to a nice bright point. A bad and black for most of the gun. Lead belcher for all the armor panels and anything left on the gun that isn't painted black. So I know there are a lot of people out there that throw out a lot of hate for GW Metallics, and I think for the most part it's deserved. I think they have a couple of really nice metallics in their line. That Retributor armor, for example, that gold, is fantastic. But I did pick up probably 6 different silvers, and I'm going to be kind of going through some of them, in the future to see which ones I like best. I've already used some Army Painter stuff on another project, and I gotta say, I am much happier with the way that Army Painter silver came out than the Lead Belcher is generally. So I'll be doing some experimenting with some different metallics from a few different companies and just see which ones hold up the best. So now that we have the armor pretty much all worked up, we're going to put Gnome Oil over the whole thing to darken everything down and just kind of tie those transitions together a little bit better. Corn red for all the 80s hair metal. Now that everything is dry, I'm going to bring in some rust gray to do edge highlighting. Fire Dragon Bright to just bring a little bit of fire into that hair. Thank you again, Alexi, for sending these in. Your support means a lot to me. These models were really fun to paint, and again, with kind of the last 40K video I did, it just brings back a lot of memories. I used to have a friend that played Dark Eldar, and that was the only thing that he did, and everything else was, trash, comparatively. And it just kind of reminds me of when I was in his basement, playing D&D as a kid. And he just had this massive Dark Eldar army in the corner, and nobody was allowed to touch it or go near it because it was super special to him. So I hope I did these miniatures justice, and everybody should go Thank Alexi in the comments for sending these in, and go check out the Happy Halfling Painting Studio on Facebook. He does awesome work. Thank you again for joining me on another eBay miniature rescue. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps the channel out. For everything else, all applicable links are in the description below. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Casey, and I will see you in the next video.